RiverBender.com's live coverage of today's game is brought to you by Tom Lane, State Farm, your good neighbor agent in the Riverbend. Roberts Ford, the value store since 1949. Barry Macias, professional, independent insurance agents. First Mid-America Credit Union, exceeding member expectations since 1934. Gerard Fisher, American Family Insurance. All of your protection under one roof.
Wildcats tee the ball at their own 40-yard line. You're in tune to WBGZ Alton. Glad you're with us. And here is the kick, and it's a high end-over-end kick taken by Young at his own 15. Out across the 20 to the 25. Keyshawn Young to the 30, and he is brought down right there. And the Explorers will start 1st and 10 from their own 30-yard line, and we'll see what young Michael Ford can do this week. He rushed for about 260 yards and 5 touchdowns in week 1. Last week, 181 yards rushing, and we'll see what he can get down on this good field.
Yeah.
181 yards in the mud last week.
Yeah, he had a few plays last week where he was trying to make a cut and slipped down where he could have gained some extra yardage, but we'll see how he does tonight and how the Wildcats can defend him.
Jack Miller, the senior quarterback, will start under center, double wing formation. Brandon Kaiser, and now it's a delay of game for the Explorers. That's hard to believe coming out for the first play of the game. And there's even a 25-second clock down at the end of the field, but you think you'd have your first play ready to go.
Well, Miller was a little late getting into the huddle, Sam, as they had the ball set ready for play, and he came on the field. It seemed to me a little late, but it's hard to overcome those things.
1st and 15 for the Explorers from their own 25-yard line. The first penalty of the ball game. And here's the first snap of the ball game, and Miller gives it to Kaiser, the fullback, and he works the left side, crosses the 25, and takes it out to about the 28-yard line, a gain of 3.
Well, there wasn't much there. Looked like Miller may have been better off to keep the ball and pitch it, but he gave it to Kaiser. He picked up about 2 yards.
Now Miller went over to the sideline to get a play. And they do have the 25-second clock running here, and it's down to 10 as they come to the line of scrimmage, and he readies to set the team. Double wing formation. Ford in motion to the right side. They hand it to him. Ford turns the right corner, cuts it up. He's hit at the 30. He may have fallen forward to near the 31. A gain of 3 on that carry for Michael Ford.
Brendan O'Neill made a nice defensive play. If he doesn't stop Ford at the 30, Ford had a little bit of running room after O'Neill. He was cutting it back, and O'Neill reached out and grabbed him and brought him down. It was a nice play.
Only a gain of 2 as they put the football down on the 30-yard line, and it's going to be 3rd and 10 for the Explorers. The first possession of the ball game. Bright sunshine, long shadows as the sun fades in the west, and now here's a give on a counter. That is Keyshawn Young. He breaks a tackle. He's to midfield. One man to beat. He's at the 30. He's at the 20. They won't catch him. 15, 10, 5. Touchdown. Keyshawn Young, a 70-yard touchdown run on a counter play.
Yeah, it was a nice counter play. They put Ford in motion, and the flow went with Ford, and when they handed it off to Keyshawn Young going the opposite direction, he had a nice little hole at the line of scrimmage and broke a arm tackle and was gone.
So Marquette on a 3rd and 10 kept it on the ground. And Keyshawn Young, after he broke that tackle about 7 yards downfield, it was a foot race and he outran everybody. Now Nick Hofert will attempt the extra point out of the hold of Brandon Kaiser. The kick is up high, long, and it's good. 10:26 remaining in the first quarter. The score, Marquette 7, Mount Olive nothing. You're listening to Z1570 Radio Sports.
Set, hit. Protection. Can anyone over there give me protection? Danny, hold. Put me in, coach. I can offer protection. Set, hit. Not only can I protect the quarterback, I can protect your dreams. Call me, Gerard Fisher, 466-7062.
American Family Insurance.
These days, it's hard to watch TV and not see a commercial where some car dealers make all kinds of empty promises they just can't keep. At Roberts, we don't make empty promises. What we will promise is a great selection of vehicles, all at great prices, along with the exceptional service you deserve before, during, and after the sale. Stop by today and see for yourself. Roberts Motors in Alton on Route 3 or online at RiverBender.com.
With Joe Barrett, Sam Stem back in Mount Olive. The Marquette Explorers overcame that delay of game penalty. And on 3rd and 10, Keyshawn Young went 70 yards for the touchdown. And now Nick Hofer kicks it away, and it will be returned from the 10 out across the 20 and out to the 22 or 23-yard line. The return for the Wildcats, Matt Tomso, a sophomore. And Mount Olive will start 1st and 10 from about their own 22-yard line.
That was good coverage by the Explorers. Kaiser got down there quick, made a hit on the player on Tomzo about at the 20-yard line, tripped him up and knocked him over.
Jake Niehaus, the junior quarterback, brings the team out, and they spread it out. Trips to the right side, another receiver wide left. And from the shotgun formation, they put a man in motion to the left side and hand it on a counter. It's Brandon Ellington. He turns the right corner and pounds his way out to near the 25-yard line before he's brought down. A gain of 2.5 on the carry for Brandon Ellington, the senior running back.
Nick Hofer was the Marquette player who brought him down. The linebacker sealed the hole up for him, and they kind of ran a little bit of a counter as they put one of their players in motion and ran a counter play, and Hofer was able to stop him for short gain.
From the 24 now, Niehaus in the pistol formation with a running back behind him. And they hand it on the jet play, and the running back trying to turn the left corner. And it is strung out there by the Explorers' Riley Bamper, who had the contain, and then he got some help from Keyshawn Young to bring him down. And a loss of a yard on the play.
Bamper made a nice play, Sam. He was one-on-one with the lineman and pushed the lineman back into the play and then pushed him out of the play and made the tackle.
Zach Mathis on the carry. And it's going to be 3rd for the Wildcats, just shy of their own 24-yard line. 2 receivers wide to the right side. Another receiver wide left, and here is the give on a counter play, and that is stopped after a short gain on the carry that time.
Bartok, the ball carrier.
Was number 32, Bartok. Blake Bartok.
6.
And he gained about 3 on the carry. But it's going to be 4th down and 5 for the Wildcats. And they'll set up in punt formation. The line of scrimmage, their own 27-yard line. Keyshawn Young stands back at his own 44. High snap, but they get the kick away under some heavy pressure. It sails well out of bounds to the near side. And now we'll see where they line it up and spot the football.
That should be inside the Wildcat territory. Well, 47-yard line looks like of Marquette.
So Marquette will start near midfield here on their second possession. 8:23 remaining in the first quarter.
If I'd have brought my net, Sam, I might have been able to grab that.
Very, very near us, wasn't it? You don't get many souvenirs in football.
No, you don't.
But it was the high snap that caused the punter to have to try and get it off in a hurry once he brought it down. And an oncoming rusher for Marquette was right in his face, and that's what caused him to shank it off to the left. Now Miller under center sets the team from their own 47. Here is the give to Kaiser right up the middle. Brandon Kaiser pounds his left side, stays on his feet out to midfield, a gain of 3.
Kaiser's done pretty well as the fullback for the Explorers, I think, this year, Sam. He's had the tough yardage up the middle, and he's not an easy tackle. He keeps his legs going, and he keeps driving forward.
He's a sophomore. He was in contention for the starting quarterback job. And finally, a week before the season, they decided to go with Jack Miller and put Kaiser at fullback. Now Ford bounces off a tackler at midfield, still on his feet, has first down yardage inside the 45, down to the 42-yard line of the Wildcats. And Ford looked like he was inside a pinball machine there, just bouncing off folks. And luckily they brought him down when they did. Otherwise, he might have been gone. A gain of 8 on that carry for Michael Ford.
They didn't fool anybody on that play, except until Ford got the ball. He fooled a couple of the tacklers, but they were in position to make the play, just didn't do it.
Now Marquette goes without a huddle, double wing formation, double tight. They put Young in motion to the left side and pitch it back to him. He has a man to beat, turns the corner, and spins off a tackler at the 41 and is bounced out of bounds on the far sideline at about the 38-yard line. That'll go as a gain of maybe 3.
That was a good defensive play as the Wildcats end shot up field and made Ford go wide, gave his other players a chance to come up and keep him from going too far.
And again, they go without a huddle, and here's a give to Michael Ford trying to sweep the right side. Breaks one tackle, is hit by 2 Wildcats as he reaches the 35 and falls forward to the 34-yard line. A gain of 4 for Ford on that carry.
Well, the Explorers are getting positive yardage, but the Wildcats are getting themselves in position. They're just not making the plays at the point of attack.
3rd and 3, Marquette at the 34 of Mount Olive. Again, with no huddle, the Explorers set double tight, double wing. Miller under center, puts Young in motion to the left side and pitches to Young. Young had a hole inside but tried to break it outside, and he's going to be thrown for a big loss. He made a bad decision there, Joe.
Yeah, he did. If he wanted to pick up the first down, he had to cut that ball up at the line, and he didn't. He tried to bounce it outside, and there were just too many Wildcats out there for him.
He lost 8 on that play. And it's going to be 4th down and 11 for the Explorers. Again, they go no huddle, and they will go for it at the 42 of Mount Olive. They put Young in motion to the left side and run the counter to Michael Ford. Ford has first down yardage, and he's going to go all the way. Nobody will catch him into the end zone from 42 yards out. Michael Ford with the touchdown, and the Explorers have scored 2 touchdowns on 3rd and long.
Well, Sam, that was just really good blocking by the Marquette line. They had a big hole for Ford once he cut up field. There was nobody there to touch him, and they had some good downfield blocks that took out the defensive backs. As you said, he was untouched all the way down.
Ford with yet another touchdown. I think it's his 8th on the season. And here's the extra point attempt by Nick Hofert. Up high, long, and good. 6:15 remaining in the first quarter. The score now, Marquette 14, Mount Olive nothing. You're listening to Z1570 Radio Sports.
I'll grab the birthday cake. You bring the gift, if you're sure she's ready.
She's 16, honey, and she's earned a set of keys.
She's studied and practiced, I know, but it's a big responsibility.
When you have a teen driver, it's good to know that Madison Mutual has the insurance coverage you need.
She's ready, and so are we. I talked to our Madison Mutual agent.
Call Barry Macias, your local independent insurance agent, at 467-2874.
The more life changes, the more you need Madison Mutual.
Red or black, silver or gold, new or used. At First Mid-America Credit Union, they know options are important to you. That's why they've made relationships with local dealerships where you'll receive all the extras with First Mid-America Credit Union's low rates and financing done on the spot. All you have to do is decide what you want. Your car, our loans, they're made for each other. www.1stmidamerica.org or call 618-258-3168 to speak to a representative.
Back in Mount Olive, where the Marquette Explorers, midway through the first quarter, have built a 14-0 lead. The Wildcats will get their second possession as Nick Hofert puts his toe into it, and it will be returned by Brandon Ellington. Ellington out to the near side, to the 10, to the 15, and he will not reach the 20-yard line before he's brought down. Keyshawn Young, one of the tacklers, also in there. Blake Bamper for the Explorers. And Mount Olive will start deep in their own territory, and it's really a weapon, Joe, when you have a kickoff man that can put it deep.
Not only deep, Sam, but it was high, and that gave the coverage team a lot of time to get downfield. Once the receiver chose his side, there were 3 or 4 Explorers there waiting for him to tackle him, and he did a decent job of getting as far as he did, but he didn't have much chance to come forward.
They put the football down at the 15-yard line. Now the Wildcats didn't have all their personnel into the game. Somebody comes from the near sideline, and they come to the line of scrimmage with just 5 seconds left on the play clock. And there's the snap as they run out of the Wildcat formation there. That's not even the quarterback. And O'Neal, the ball carrier, worked the right side and lost 2 yards.
Yeah, Explorer defensive line. Andrew Knowles was in on that play. Just blew past the blocker and made the play. Loss of 2 yards on the play.
Brandon O'Neal 2nd and 12 now. Marquette has just 3 first downs in this game, but the Wildcats here midway through the first quarter looking for their first. 2nd and 12 from their own 13-yard line. They put a man in motion to the right side. Again, it's O'Neal at the quarterback position. He lets it go downfield, and that's picked up by Michael Ford at the 20. Down the left sideline he goes, and he walks into the end zone for the touchdown. Michael Ford picked it off actually at about the 18-yard line and had one man to sidestep and then just walk down the sideline, and the Explorers are on the board again. This time it's a defensive touchdown.
Well, Nick Hofert deflected that pass. It was intended for a receiver out in the flat, and Hofert got a hand up on it and deflected it, and Ford picked it out of the air.
So another touchdown for Michael Ford. His 2nd of this game and 9th of the season. And now they line it up for the extra point attempt. Brandon Kaiser will hold. Nick Hofert steps into it. It's up high, long, and it's wide to the left side, but there's a flag on the play.
Flag on the play.
And let's see what the call is here.
The point kick was wide to the left.
And it's procedure against the Explorers, which will be declined. So that's the first thing to go wrong for Marquette, other than that game-opening delay of game penalty. And with 5:38 remaining in the first quarter, the score now, Marquette 20, Mount Olive nothing. You're listening to Z1570 Radio Sports.
In today's economy, everyone's looking for an encouraging sign. That's exactly what you'll find right here at my State Farm office in Bethalto. I'm Tom Lane, and for 86 years, State Farm agents like me have been helping you protect the things that matter most. That's why more people trust State Farm, and why we consider that a very good sign.
Call Tom Lane State Farm office in Bethalto at 377-8912 or go to tomlaneagency.net.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Red or black, silver or gold, new or used. At First Mid-America Credit Union, they know options are important to you. That's why they've made relationships with local dealerships where you'll receive all the extras with First Mid-America Credit Union's low rates and financing done on the spot. All you have to do is decide what you want. Your car, our loans, they're made for each other. www.1stmidamerica.org or call 618-258-3168 to speak to a representative.
Nick Hofert, the run-up and the kick for the third time here in the first quarter. And here come the Wildcats on the return, out across the 20 to the 25 to the 27-yard line. It's Matt Tomso. And the Wildcats will start 1st and 10 right there. They went 3 and out on their first possession. Had a bad punt after a high snap, and the Explorers followed that up with their second touchdown of the game. And then on their second possession, O'Neal threw an interception, and Michael Ford returned it for a touchdown. They put the football down at the 28. 1st and 10 Wildcats, and they keep O'Neal in there as the quarterback, Brendan O'Neal. Niehaus was the quarterback on the first series. O'Neal takes the snap, gives it on a draw play right up the middle, big hole, and there's a first down for the Wildcats.
And Explorers got caught in a bit of a stunt by their linemen, and they had a huge opening right up the center.
Bartok with a gain of 11 on that carry. And the first down for the Wildcats, 1st and 10 from their own 40-yard line, just shy of the 40. A pair of receivers to each side of the field. And O'Neal wants to throw, and now he comes to the left side, and he's going to run with it. He split 2 Marquette tacklers and makes his way out to the 46-yard line. A gain of 6. They had a chance to throw him down back at the 40, but he just ran right between 2 Marquette defenders who each tried to make arm tackles. Right, a gain of 6 for
He's a pretty good-sized kid. He's a pretty good-sized kid, and the Explorers couldn't stop him once he got going forward.
Now Niehaus checks back into the game. And now we've got an equipment problem.
Timeout.
O'Neal, who was hit hard on that play, apparently had a problem with his helmet, and they get that resolved. So Niehaus, who was a quarterback in the first series, was here on the near sideline and now checks in, but he's going to set up as a wideout. And O'Neal, who had been in a wideout earlier, is now at quarterback. They've thrown the ball once, and that was intercepted. Now they put 2 men in motion, and that'll be a penalty. So flags fly everywhere. And the pass is incomplete, but Marquette will likely accept that illegal motion penalty and set him back 5 yards.
Yeah, that play was late developing, Sam. They were not quick to the line, and they had 2 guys going motion, and they actually looked like they were both going forward when the ball was snapped, too.
Well, you can only have one guy moving, and nobody can go towards the line of scrimmage until after the ball is snapped. So they could have thrown, well, that's every official on the field threw his flag.
That's true.
I was throwing mine before the play was underway. First penalty of the night against the Wildcats, and now they face 2nd and 9 from their own 41-yard line. A pair of receivers to each side of the field. O'Neal, now we've got movement prior to the snap. The Explorers jump, but were they drawn?
I think Marquette went across first.
I think they did too. And it is encroachment, a 5-yard walk-off against the Explorers. So they just traded 5-yard penalties, and they're right back where they started, 2nd and 4. The Explorers' second penalty of the afternoon, now evening. Just a gorgeous day for football. The lights are on, but they'll not take effect for at least another hour. Receivers left and right. O'Neal back to throw. Under some pressure, lets it go deep down the left side, and that is incomplete. The intended receiver was down at the 20-yard line, and he got behind Keyshawn Young, and the ball that was Niehaus, who was the intended receiver, and the ball was just a bit overthrown. Otherwise, he might have walked in for a touchdown.
He quit his route, Sam. He stopped and waited for the ball to come to him. Then it sailed over his head. If he'd have kept running, he would have been able to walk in, like he said. But he stopped, turned around to pick up the ball, and didn't keep going forward.
He had Keyshawn Young beaten.
Yes, he did.
And now a timeout by the Explorers as the Wildcats face 3rd and 4. 3:23 remaining first quarter. Marquette 20, Mount Olive nothing. You're listening to Z1570 Radio Sports.
Why should you bring your vehicle to Quick Lane at Roberts Motors? You never need an appointment, just drive on in. Quick Lane has the guaranteed lowest tire prices around. Plus, we perform a multi-point inspection of the critical items on your vehicle at no charge every time you visit. Ford, Chevy, Toyota, or any other make, Quick Lane can service it. We're even open on Saturdays. Stop by Quick Lane at Roberts Motors today. Come see why life is better in the Quick Lane.
Set, hit. Protection. Can anyone over there give me protection? Danny, hold it. Put me in, coach. I can offer protection. Set, hit. Not only can I protect the quarterback, I can protect your dreams. Call me, Gerard Fisher, 466-7062.
American Family Insurance.
3rd and 4 Wildcats from their own 46-yard line. O'Neal in the pistol formation takes the snap, and it's a quarterback sweep to the right side. He is hit right at the first down marker, and he's going to have the first down, I believe. If not, he's going to be very, very close as Michael Ford brought him down. Oh, they put him down short. I thought they were going to spot it a little bit further ahead than that. He needed 4 and got about 3 3/4.
Yeah,
it's 4th and a foot.
I think that was a bad spot because his knee didn't actually touch ground until he was on the 50-yard line. He landed on top of the Explorer Ford, who made the tackle, and kind of fell forward to the 50.
Now facing 4th and a foot, just shy of midfield. The Wildcats want a timeout. 2:58 remaining in the first quarter. Marquette 20, Mount Olive nothing. You're listening to Z1570 Radio Sports.
I'll grab the birthday cake, you bring the gift, if you're sure she's ready.
She's 16, honey, and she's earned a set of keys.
She's studied and practiced, I know, but it's a big responsibility.
When you have a teen driver, it's good to know that Madison Mutual has the insurance coverage you need.
She's ready, and so are we. I talked to our Madison Mutual agent.
Call Barry Macias, your local independent insurance agent, at 467-2874.
The more life changes, the more you need Madison Mutual.
Red or black, silver or gold, new or used. At First Mid-America Credit Union, they know options are important to you. That's why they've made relationships with local dealerships where you'll receive all the extras with First Mid-America Credit Union's low rates and financing done on the spot. All you have to do is decide what you want. Your car, our loans, they're made for each other. www.1stmidamerica.org or call 618-258-3168 to speak to a representative.
Either that or spread everybody out. They had two running backs in the backfield, and they handed it to the second man through, and he looped around the quarterback who was in the pistol formation before he got the ball. So, like you said, it took a while for that to develop, and the Explorers were able to break through the line and make a nice play.
So the Explorers take over 1st and 10, Marquette's third possession of the ball game. They've scored a defensive touchdown, scored on their other two possessions, and here is the give on a counter. Michael Ford, the right sideline, a flag is thrown. Ford trying to sidestep a man inside the 30 all the way down to the 26-yard line, but I believe that's going to be a hold against the Explorers, and that play will come back.
Yeah, there was a player that tried to get out to get into the pursuit of Ford, and he was grabbed by an Explorer down around the 41-yard line.
I don't think they needed to grab him because I don't think he'd ever caught up to Ford. But
no.
Sometimes when you're downfield trying to block and you see somebody going that way, you do everything you can to get in their way, and sometimes you inadvertently reach out and grab somebody. So a 10-yard walk-off from the spot of the foul, and it's going to be 1st and 14 for the Explorers. The football at their own 49-yard line. Miller now in the pistol formation. High snap, turns, gives it to Kaiser, working the left side. Brandon Kaiser, good yardage inside the 40, all the way down to about the 36-yard line. A big hole opened up to the left side, and Kaiser actually took it 16 yards for the Explorer first down.
Well, Sam, they were keying on Ford that time, and when Miller handed the ball to Kaiser, there was nobody watching him, and he went right up off the left side and got 16 yards. A nice run for Kaiser. He doesn't get many holes like that.
The fourth first down of the night for the Explorers, 1st and 10 at the Wildcat 35. Again from the pistol formation. The hand to Ford on the jet sweep. Michael Ford steps inside a tackler inside the 30, down to about the 29-yard line. And a gain on that carry of 6 yards for Ford. And he's always just a step away from breaking it.
They had plenty of players out there, kind of strung him out to where he was trying to dance around a few players, and he just couldn't break free.
Still a gain of 6. And I think a lot of times when you're playing defense and you hold Michael Ford to 6 yards, you think you've got a victory.
That's a plus.
2nd down and 4, Marquette at the 29 of Mount Olive. Here is the give on a counter to Kaiser. Kaiser, big hole through the left side. First down yardage all the way down to inside the 20. And we'll wait for the spot. It's going to be down near the 15-yard line. And another first down for the Explorers on another big run by the fullback, Brandon Kaiser. They'll put it at the 14. That was a gain of 15 yards on that carry.
That was a good run. They are really keying on Ford. When they fake that handoff, Kaiser had a huge hole opened off the left tackle and left guard. For the Explorers, A.J. Lipka, along with Joe Miller.
Receivers left and right, double wing formation. And here is the give on to the second man through Ford, following Kaiser into the hole. Ford bouncing off tacklers down inside the 10, down inside the 5-yard line.
1st and goal, looks like, Sam.
A gain of 11 on that carry. 1st and goal, Marquette at the 4. of the Wildcats. We're down to 40 seconds and counting remaining in the first quarter. Marquette with a 20-0 lead. Keyshawn Young checks out of the ball game. And they go to the power I formation, and here's the give to Brandon Kaiser. Right up the middle, he walks in untouched from 4 yards out, and the Explorers are on the board again.
That was another, they were sent forward in motion to the right and handed the ball right up the middle to Kaiser, and the front offensive line for the Explorers just blew up a big hole. He was able to go in with ease.
And now the extra point attempt upcoming. Let's see, they'll go for 2 here. Since they missed a kick earlier, they lead it now 26-0. Looking to tack on 2 more. Again, the power I formation, double tight. And here's the give to Keyshawn Young, and he walks in untouched. I mean, there wasn't anybody within 3 yards of him, and he just stepped into the end zone for the touchdown, for the 2-point conversion. 24 seconds remaining first quarter. The score now, Marquette 28, Mount Olive nothing. You're listening to Z1570 Radio Sports.
In today's economy, everyone's looking for an encouraging sign. That's exactly what you'll find right here at my State Farm office in Bethalto. I'm Tom Lane, and for 86 years, State Farm agents like me have been helping you protect the things that matter most. That's why more people trust State Farm, and why we consider that a very good sign.
Call Tom Lane State Farm office in Bethalto at 377-8912 or go to tomlaneagency.net.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
At First Mid-America Credit Union, they offer more than savings accounts, checking accounts, money markets, loans, and IRAs. They also offer a Visa Platinum Card, which rewards their members with low rates, no annual fees, no hidden fees, no balance transfer fees, built-in safety features to protect your card from fraud, and a reward program which rewards you for every purchase you make. Apply today for a First Mid-America Credit Union Visa Platinum Card at www.1stmidamerica.org.
With Joe Barrett, Sam Stem back in Mount Olive on a beautiful Monday evening. High school football, this game postponed from Saturday night because of the poor field conditions at Public School Stadium in Alton, and moved to this field up here in Mount Olive. And that was a good move. This field in great shape. And it's 28-0 Marquette late in the first quarter, and Nick Hofert for the 4th time tonight kicks it away. And it will be returned by Brandon Ellington. Ellington trying to find the right sideline, finds some good running room. A flag is thrown. He's run out of bounds up near the 35-yard line, but the flag lies back at about the 24, and that's going to be a hold or a clip.
It's a low block below the waist.
And so instead of starting out at their 35, Mount Olive is going to start back inside their own 15. Well, the Explorers have touchdowns from Keyshawn Young, Brandon Kaiser, and 2 by Michael Ford. One of Ford's an interception return. A chop block against the Wildcats, and they'll walk at half the distance to the goal line. That's only their second penalty of the evening.
That's a big penalty, though, Sam. I mean, they were out near the 35-yard line, and it's going to put them back inside the 15. At about the 12. Huge penalty.
It cost them more than 20 yards in field position. And the Wildcats, who have but 1 first down on the night, start 1st and 10 from their own 12. Here is O'Neal rolling to his left, lets it go. He's got a man out near the 25, out across the 30, still on his feet. He steps out of bounds at the 37-yard line. A completion of 25 yards.
It was just blown coverage by the Explorers because Michael Ford's not out playing defensive back now. They've got a new player for the Explorers out there. I'm not sure who it is, but he was beat on the coverage.
Zach Mathis with the reception. Marquette hasn't tried one. O'Neal now 1 for 3 with an interception. 1st and 10 from their own 37. Now they run the option to the right side. And Bartok is hit as he tries to turn that right corner, and no gain on the play, and that's the final play of the first quarter. After 12 minutes of action here in Mount Olive, the score, the Explorers 28, the Wildcats nothing. You're listening to Z1570 Radio Sports.
Set, hit. Protection. Can anyone over there give me protection? Danny, hold it. Put me in, coach. I can offer protection. Set, hit. Not only can I protect the quarterback, I can protect your dreams. Call me, Gerard Fisher, 466-7062.
American Family Insurance.
These days, it's hard to watch TV and not see a commercial where some car dealers make all kinds of empty promises they just can't keep. At Roberts, we don't make empty promises. What we will promise is a great selection of vehicles, all at great prices, along with the exceptional service you deserve before, during, and after the sale. Stop by today and see for yourself. Roberts Motors in Alton on Route 3 or online at RiverBender.com.
The Marquette Explorers have built a 28-0 lead in the first quarter, and the Wildcats now face 2nd and 10 from their own 37-yard line. They send receivers left and right. O'Neal, the quarterback, in the shotgun. And he takes a snap, and it's a run all the way. And O'Neal, as he gets to the line of scrimmage, is hit, manages to surge forward. And he picks up 3 out across the 40-yard line, and it's going to bring about 3rd and 7.
He did a nice job on the run, Sam. He met 3 of the Explorers at about the 40 and just lowered his shoulder. He's a good-sized kid, and he was able to pick up 3 yards on the play.
You mentioned Michael Ford shaken up. He's not in the defensive backfield right now.
They put Jack Miller in at safety and moved a couple other players around. Riley Bamper and Keyshawn Young, along with Alex Cowens, are their cover men.
Quick pass out to the left side, completed to Niehaus, and he is tackled immediately by Riley Bamper for a loss of a yard. So they complete a pass and lose a yard.
Yeah, but that was a good play by Bamper. He closed on the pass really quick, and before the receiver got a chance to head upfield, he was brought down.
And now a 4th down, and for the second time tonight, Mount Olive goes into punt formation. And this time the kicker gets a good snap and gets the kick away, and it's a pretty good one. Angles it towards the left sideline, and it sails out of bounds, and we'll have to wait for them to line it up and tell us exactly where they're going to spot it. But I think it's apparent Mount Olive, when they punt, they don't want anything to do with these Explorer return men, because they're going to angle it towards the sideline. And this time they say it went out of bounds at about I don't know where.
At the 33, 34-yard line.
The officials are having a tough time catching up with the football. They're tossing it to each other, and nobody can catch it. 34-yard line is where the Explorer offense will take over, 1st and 10. Marquette's 4th possession. They've scored 3 out of 3 possessions. 1st and 10 from their own 34. Miller back under center this time, and here's the give to Keyshawn Young. Young bouncing off tacklers, fighting for yardage, still on his feet. It takes 4 Wildcats to bring him down, but not until he powered his way out to the 40-yard line for a gain of 6.
Yeah, he ended up losing his helmet at the end of the play. They were all grabbing at him to bring him down. He just didn't want to go down.
Michael Ford still not in the lineup. Now Jack Miller goes to the far sideline to get a play. Or is there some other issue? And now I think the Explorers are going to take a timeout.
I think Keyshawn Young's helmet was an issue at the end of that play. He couldn't get it back on. I think a strap might have broke or something. So Explorers went ahead and called a timeout.
It comes with 10:01 remaining here in the second quarter. This is Marquette's first ever Prairie State Conference game. And after all those years in the South Central Conference, Marquette this year in the Prairie State Conference. It's a 7-team conference, so they'll play 6 conference games. The first two games of this season were non-conference, the win over Priory and the loss to Quincy Notre Dame. They'll have another non-conference game in a couple of weeks against East Alton Wood River, who will join the Prairie State Conference the year after next. So this conference reconfigured after some Prairie State teams went to the South Central. Marquette comes from the South Central to the Prairie State. Decatur Lutheran will drop out next year. It'll be a 6-team conference. And then the following year, Wood River will enter it, make it a 7-team conference. Here's the pitch back now. Ford back in there. Ford sweeping the right side, has first down yardage out across the 45, out to the 49-yard line. A gain of 9 on that carry from Michael Ford, and the 8th first down of the night for the Explorers.
Good offensive push by the Explorer line as they were able to seal the right side, and Ford cut it up and had 2 men to beat, couldn't get through them. Tackled right before midfield.
Ford, 8 carries for 89 yards and a rushing touchdown. He also scored a touchdown on an interception return. Now Marquette goes with the power I formation, double tight, and here is the give to Kaiser, but he was hit almost simultaneously with the handoff, and he did a great job just to hang on to the football.
Yeah. The Wildcats blew right over the center of the Explorers as soon as the ball was snapped, like they knew the count and the play.
A loss of 4 on that play, but it could have been worse. Could easily have been a turnover. Now 2nd down and 14 Marquette from their own 45-yard line. They've yet to put the football in the air. Double tight, power I formation. And now the left end for Marquette got an early start. And that'll cost them 5 more. That was David Drysdale, and he just went a count too soon.
No, I think the Wildcats jumped across the line first, and that caused him to move.
So, actually, a 5-yard walk-off against the Wildcats. I didn't see them move.
Somebody did.
Yes, indeed. And the ball down at midfield, 2nd and 9 for the Explorers. That's why I'm not an official. I'm barely qualified to do what I do. 2nd and 9, pitch back. It's Michael Ford, and he is hemmed in and going to be thrown for a big loss. A host of Mount Olive tacklers. There were 4 guys surrounding Ford. He put the brakes on and wanted to reverse his field, but he had nowhere to go the other way either. Now he leaves the field. I think he's still a little
I don't think he's
shaken
100%.
up. And the loss on that play was 7 yards. And it brings about 3rd and long for Marquette, but they've scored 2 touchdowns on 3rd and long. 3rd and 16 Explorers from their own 43-yard line. Here is the give to Kaiser right up the middle, and that's tough sledding. Kaiser powers his way forward for 3, but for the first time tonight, Marquette will send the punting team onto the field. So that was the best defensive stand of the night by the Wildcats, who, after being pushed around on the line of scrimmage through much of the first quarter, controlled the line of scrimmage on those last several plays.
Yeah, Zach Mathis made a couple of nice plays. He's the one that dropped Kaiser for the loss on the 4-yard loss on the first down play.
Now the Wildcats, who didn't necessarily believe Marquette was going to punt, call a timeout because they didn't have the punt return team in there. It comes with 7:24 remaining in the second quarter. The score, Marquette 28, Mount Olive nothing. You're listening to 1570 Radio Sports.
At First Mid-America Credit Union, they offer more than savings accounts, checking accounts, money markets, loans, and IRAs. They also offer a Visa Platinum Card, which rewards their members with low rates, no annual fees, no hidden fees, no balance transfer fees, built-in safety features to protect your card from fraud, and a reward program which rewards you for every purchase you make. Apply today for a First Mid-America Credit Union Visa Platinum Card at www.1stmidamerica.org.
I'll grab the birthday cake, you bring the gift, if you're sure she's ready.
She's 16, honey, and she's earned a set of keys.
She's studied and practiced, I know, but it's a big responsibility.
When you have a teen driver, it's good to know that Madison Mutual has the insurance coverage you need.
She's ready, and so are we. I talked to our Madison Mutual agent.
Call Barry Macias, your local independent insurance agent, at 467-2874.
The more life changes, the more you need Madison Mutual.
We're in Mount Olive, Illinois. It's Monday night football. This game postponed over the weekend because of bad field conditions and moved here to Mount Olive from Alton. And perfect conditions here this evening. Marquette leading 28-0, and for the first time tonight, Marquette in punt formation. Nick Hofert stands back at his own 34-yard line awaiting the snap. And he gets a high snap, brings it down, and gets it away under some heavy pressure. Kicked the back at Jack Miller, who was blocking for him, and it's a short kick that'll be downed by the Explorers at the Mount Olive 34-yard line. And Marquette was lucky that kick wasn't blocked.
Yeah, they were very lucky. It was a real high snap. Hofert had a hard time catching it and coming back down, and the Wildcats had a good push up the middle.
Well, the oncoming rusher pushed Jack Miller back into Hofert. I think Miller got kicked right in the backside.
Yeah, he'll feel that tomorrow.
1st and 10 Wildcats. They put it down just shy of the 35-yard line. We'll call it the 34. They send receivers left and right. The quarterback, O'Neal, in the shotgun with a back to his right. He puts a man in motion to the right side, and they run a counter back to the left on the carry. He is Brandon Ellington, and he gains a yard perhaps, but not much more. Ellington, 3 carries for 2 yards.
That was also a slow developing play. It looked like they were trying to fake like he didn't have the ball. He wasn't really running full speed to the line, but the Explorers were there waiting for him when he got there and brought him right down.
About 60 yards in total offense for the Wildcats. Now from the pistol formation, O'Neal drops to throw, lets it go over the middle. He hit his receiver right in the hands at the 45-yard line, and he couldn't hang on. That would have been a Mount Olive first down, and then it bounced off one of the Explorer defenders and fell harmlessly to the ground. A well-delivered ball by O'Neal.
Well, there's a holding penalty on the play against the Wildcats, so even if we'd have been able to hold on, it would have been negated.
And let's see if Marquette will take the penalty or force them into 3rd and 9. They're going to take the walk-off. 10-yard walk-off from the spot of the foul. The 4th penalty of the night against the Wildcats, their 2nd major penalty. And they will put the football down where? They're trying to figure it out. They put it down just outside the 25-yard line. It's going to be 2nd and 19 for the Wildcats, just outside their own 25-yard line. O'Neal takes the snap, rolls to his left, sets under pressure. He's hit and he's sacked. He is sacked on the play by the Explorers' Alex Hamburg, who had him in his sights.
That was a coverage sack, Sam. He had time to throw initially, but there was nobody open downfield. Good defensive coverage by the Explorers allowed Hamburg to track him down and drop him for a loss of almost 8 yards.
All the way back at the 18-yard line. And now it's 3rd and forever. 3rd and 27 Wildcats from their own 18-yard line. So this drive started back at their own 35, and they're back to the 18. On the 3rd down play, O'Neal back to throw. He's under pressure. He's sacked again.
A.J. Lipka grabs his jersey as he runs past him and was able to hold on long enough to bring him down inside the 10-yard line.
Back at the 9-yard line, a loss of 8 on that sack. So 2 consecutive sacks by the Explorer defensive line. First Alex Hamburg, then A.J. Lipka, and now the Wildcats will punt from their own end zone. The punter's standing about, he's about 2 yards deep. He gets the snap and gets the kick away, and it's a pretty good end-over-end kick towards the far sideline. and it rolls out of bounds shy of midfield. The Explorers will take over at the Wildcat 42-yard line, 1st and 10. Marquette leading 28-0. All the scoring was in the first quarter.
Yeah, it's been kind of a little bit of a sloppy second quarter. Penalties, miscues, just look like broken plays, not executed very well offensively by either team. And we've kind of been slugging along here in the second quarter.
1st and 10, Marquette. Now they go to the pistol formation with receivers left and right. And a wing in each slot, and here's the give to Michael Ford on the jet sweep. A flag is thrown as Ford is hit on the far sideline and thrown out of bounds after a gain of about 7, but that's going to be a hold against the Explorers and set him back 10 yards.
Seemed like a late flag. Ford was already past that area when the referee threw the flag in, so he saw something in the pile.
So the 10-yard walk-off from the spot of the foul. The flag lying at the 42-yard line. It'll move it back across midfield into Marquette territory. 1st and 10. 1st and about 18 for the Explorers from their own 48-yard line.
They've been hurting themselves on offense here, Sam. In the second quarter, they just haven't executed. We ran into that last year a few times where they would just get into a funk and not be able to move the ball consistently.
On the first down play, back to throw Miller. His first pass of the night down the right sideline, off the fingertips of Keyshawn Young. And Young would have had clear sailing to the end zone, a beautifully delivered football. And I really think Keyshawn probably should have caught that, although in his defense he was looking back into the sun.
Yeah, he didn't really stick his hands out very far, Sam. Looked like he misjudged it at the last second just a little bit. Could have been looking back into the sun, might have hurt him, but Miller laid that right down to him.
2nd down and 19 Explorers from their own 48-yard line. Receivers left and right from the pistol formation. Jack Miller puts Ford in motion to the right side and gives it on the handoff right up the middle to Kaiser. Lots of running room. Brandon Kaiser inside the 40 of the Wildcats down to about the 38-yard line. A gain of 14 on the carry for Brandon Kaiser.
And that was the Explorers spread out the defense and ran the ball up the middle. And once the Wildcats were able to finally catch up to Kaiser, they had about 6 guys in on the tackle. They're pursuing the ball very well, but they're not making any stops too close to the line of scrimmage.
3rd and 6, Marquette at the 38 of the Wildcats, and now movement up front, and this time it was illegal procedure by Marquette as somebody on that offensive line jumped.
Yeah.
Looked like it was Mason Schroeder. Got an early start.
We'll make it a 3rd down and along the 11.
3rd and 11 for the Explorers at the 44 of the Wildcats. Wide to the left side comes Alex Cowens. Bamper wide right. Here is the snap back to throw. Miller, he's hit and sacked. He never saw the defender coming from his blind side, and Miller goes down at his own 49-yard line. A loss of 7 on the sack.
Never had a chance to get away from that. He didn't even see him coming. Nobody blocked him. Right off the right end, and had a free ride to the quarterback, and he brought him down.
So after scoring touchdowns on their first 3 possessions of the ball game, Marquette, for the 2nd consecutive possession, will go into punt formation. Nick Hofert stands back at his own 37-yard line awaiting the snap. He gets a good one, and this time gets a dandy kick away, a high spiral, and it is fumbled and picked up, and a good return by the Wildcats out to their own 30-yard line. Brandon Ellington had trouble catching it. It hit right at his feet, bounced right up into his hands, and he returned it about 15 yards right up the middle of the field.
A good tackle by Alex Hamburg on for the Explorers on the return there. Otherwise, Ellington would have had a lot more running room.
Marquette in their white jerseys, blue pants, silver helmets with the block M on the helmet. The Wildcats, purple jerseys, purple helmets, and gold pants. The purple and gold of Mount Olive against the blue and white of the Explorers. And now we've got a stoppage.
Riley Bamper was hurt on that kickoff or that punt return. Had to be helped off the field.
And the Wildcats start 1st and 10 from their own 30-yard line. Brendan O'Neill takes the snap, hands it off, and the running back comes to the near side and gains a yard. 2 at the most.
Mason Schroeder and Nick Hoford on the stop for the Explorers after a short game.
John Harbison with his first carry of the night. Harbison gained 2. 2nd down and a long 8 for the Wildcats, just shy of their own 32-yard line. 2 receivers to each side of the field. In the shotgun, it's O'Neill. Takes the snap, and the ball is fumbled as the exchange from the quarterback to the running back was not good, and the Explorers have recovered. That's the second Mount Olive turnover of the night, and was that Alex Hamburg on the football?
Andrew Knowles.
Andrew Knowles.
I think the ball rolled right to him as he had good penetration into the backfield, and when the ball was mishandled, he was able to get to it quicker than anybody else.
So with 1:58 remaining in the first half and Marquette leading 28-0, the Explorers start 1st and 10 at the 28 of the Wildcats.
Knowles on the recovery for the Explorers.
And now they're going to send Brendan O'Neill off the field. His jersey's torn. You say, well, you can't play like that. And so they take him another jersey. Let's see what number he's going to wear now. He takes off his number 80. And I'm surprised. Well, the Wildcats now will have to take a timeout.
That'll be their last one of the half.
It comes with 1:58 remaining here in the first half. Marquette 28, Mount Olive nothing. You're listening to Z1570 Radio Sports.
In today's economy, everyone's looking for an encouraging sign. That's exactly what you'll find right here at my State Farm office in Bethalto. I'm Tom Lane, and for 86 years, State Farm agents like me have been helping you protect the things that matter most. That's why more people trust State Farm, and why we consider that a very good sign.
Call Tom Lane State Farm office in Bethalto at 377-8912 or go to tomlaneagency.net.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Red or black, silver or gold, new or used. At First Mid-America Credit Union, they know options are important to you. That's why they've made relationships with local dealerships where you'll receive all the extras with First Mid-America Credit Union's low rates and financing done on the spot. All you have to do is decide what you want. Your car, our loans, they're made for each other. www.1stmidamerica.org or call 618-258-3168 to speak to a representative.
Sam Stem along with Joe Barrett, late first half. Monday night football here on the Big Z, the Marquette Explorers and the Mount Olive Wildcats. They were scheduled to play Saturday night at Public School Stadium in Alton. And because that field was in unplayable condition Saturday, you remember Friday before last, Marquette played Quincy Notre Dame at the stadium in the torrential downpour, and that did the first round of damage. And then last Friday night, Alton High played Collinsville in rain nearly as heavy, and that pretty much did it. There wasn't any way they could play Saturday night, nor tonight at home, so they moved it up here. Jack Miller now on the first down play. Hits Keyshawn Young in the right flat. Young to the 20, 15, sidesteps a tackle at the 10, and he's in for the touchdown. A 28-yard touchdown pass from Jack Miller to Keyshawn Young, with Young doing most of the work, and the Explorers are on the board again.
That was a really nice run by Young as he went down the sideline, evaded 2 or 3 Wildcat tacklers along the sideline. How he didn't step out of bounds is amazing to me, Sam, because they they had him pinned against the sideline, and they had players over there, but he was able to juke him and dance around him, and there's an injured player down at the field inside the 5. That's where Keyshawn Young made his last move, and how he got into from the 25-yard line on in, I really don't know how he did that. It was amazing.
It's an injured Wildcat on the far side of the field, over on the far sideline at about the 3-yard line, and he's being tended to. Meanwhile, the players for both teams who were lining up for the extra point go down to a knee. And with 1:48 remaining, Marquette has extended its lead. That's their first score of the second quarter after building a 28-0 lead in the first quarter. And it comes on a 28-yard touchdown pass from Jack Miller, his first completion of the night, to Keyshawn Young, who scores his second touchdown of the night. And it makes it 34-0 Marquette with the extra point attempt upcoming. And the injured player is still down and being tended to.
It's all set up by that turnover by the Wildcats when they fumbled their handoff, and Andrew Knowles recovered it from Marquette at about the 28.
Yeah, that was just a bad exchange from the quarterback O'Neal as he went to try to hand it to his tailback, and the ball hit the turf. The Explorers were on it, and on the very next play, the 28-yard touchdown pass, and now we're going to have a bit of a delay now as they send both teams to their respective benches. And I believe they're going to bring a stretcher or even an ambulance onto the field as the injured Wildcat is still down over on the far sideline. Well, Marquette won its season opener. Marquette was scheduled to play its first 3 games of the season at home. Well, they played the first 2, beat Priory on the opening week of the season, 55-34. Marquette trailed going into the fourth quarter of that game and exploded for 35 points in the fourth quarter and won it going away 55-34. And then last week, the Friday before last, they hosted Quincy Notre Dame after the hour or so delay getting the game started and the heavy rains that preceded and came during the game. The Quincy Notre Dame defeated Marquette 30-6, so the Explorers come in here tonight with a record of 1-1. And now, instead of playing 5 home games this year, Marquette will play just 4 as they play here on the road at Mount Olive. And then they have 3 more road games to follow. So Marquette, the first of 4 consecutive road games here tonight. Next week, they're in Kincaid to take on South Fork. And on the 21st, at Wood River to take on the East Alton Wood River Oilers. And then on the 28th, they back to South Central Conference action. They'll be on the road at Nokomis before coming home on October 5th to take on Decatur Lutheran. And that probably will be the only time they play Decatur Lutheran because they're out of the conference next year. And then October 13th, they host Bunker Hill before closing it out with a road game at Metro East Lutheran. All of the games I mentioned are Prairie State Conference games with the exception of the game against the Oilers. Meanwhile, the Wildcats, who split their first 2 road games of the season, losing at Oblong before beating Bunker Hill last week 40-0. They'll be home this Friday night against Nokomis, then travel to Decatur to take on Decatur Lutheran, then finish with 3 of their final 4 games at home against Bunker Hill, South Fork, and Trenton Westland while traveling to Metro East Lutheran in Week 8. And the injured player is still down, being attended to by medical personnel. They have an ambulance over on the far side of the field, and they're bringing a stretcher on. And the player moving, and it very well may be a situation where he may have a leg injury and just can't get up and leave the field, and they're going to take all due precautions, put him on the backboard, and carry him off the field. 1:48 remaining here in the first half. most of the field in shadow now. A few patches of sun as the sun gets very near the horizon here just past the 7 o'clock hour. You're in tune to WBGZ Alton. Marquette built that big 28-0 first quarter lead, and then some penalties and play just kind of bogged down here in the second quarter. And finally, Mount Olive's second turnover of the night, a fumble deep in their own territory at their own 28. Marquette recovered it. And on the very next play, Jack Miller hit Keyshawn Young for a 28-yard touchdown pass. Young put some moves on down inside the 10-yard line, and somewhere in that vicinity, the injury occurred to the Mount Olive player. And they're still working to get him secured to the backboard to then carry him to the ambulance, and then we'll have the extra point attempt and another Marquette kickoff.
You know, Sam, you talked earlier about the Marquette game against Prairie, how they were losing in the fourth quarter, and they scored a touchdown early in the fourth quarter, and then on the ensuing first play from scrimmage, Prairie had a decent run of about 15 yards, but at the end of the play, Michael Ford and Keyshawn Young hit the ball carrier and popped the ball loose, and that completely changed the complexion of that game. The Explorers were able to take that turnover from inside the 30 and take it in for a score. And then the Prairie Rebels were just unable to recover from that play, and the Explorers ended up scoring 35 points in that fourth quarter.
Well, those who simply saw or heard the final score the next day, 55-34 Marquette, probably thought it was an easy Explorer victory, but it was not.
No, it wasn't. It was a really good game up through the first three quarters, and I wasn't sure if Marquette was even going to be able to stop Prairie, because Prairie seemed to be able to move the ball against the Explorers fairly well.
The second week of the season, that game against Quincy Notre Dame, you could tell they're a very good football team, a 4A powerhouse, state ranked, but it was a little bit hard to get a gauge of how the two teams compared, simply because of the fact that they played in about, there were parts of that field, I think, that had 2 inches of water on it.
Yeah.
And by the end of the game, the field was pretty well chewed up, and then it's just unfortunate what happened this past Friday night with more rain, heavy
Mm-hmm.
rain, another delay getting the Alton High game started. They had a 30-minute delay before they got it started. And Alton High and Collinsville went at it in the mud, and our sports director Brent Berkland tells me that there were times during that game that the players were sinking ankle deep into the mud, and so the Explorers personnel went down and inspected the field about midday on Friday and said this field is unplayable. Got in touch with the folks up here at Mount Olive, and they agreed to move the football game up here tonight. And that, by all accounts, was a good move, because this field is in perfect shape.
Yes, it is.
And they're still attending to the injured player. No way really for us to know what kind of an injury it is, but they're taking all due precautions. And that's something that occurs at all levels now. If there's any doubt whatsoever as to the severity of the injury, they're overly cautious. They don't want the player moving. They don't want him trying to get up and move around. We did see the injured player moving his legs and his arms. So I saw him moving his right leg. He wasn't moving his left leg. And I'm not so sure that maybe it could be fracture of the leg, and they just didn't want to try and get him up. But they're taking their time. The ambulance arrived. The ambulance was here at the field, and they called it over, and the personnel from the ambulance started tending to him. And then the fire rescue truck also has shown up with some EMTs. And they're working to get him onto the backboard and then eventually to the ambulance, at which time we'll have the extra point attempt.
You hate to see this in At any level, Sam, but, injuries are all part of the game, but you just hate to see something where somebody's got to be carted off this way.
Well, it's a new era of Marquette Explorer football. Their entrance this year into the Prairie State Conference. And the conference already has signaled upcoming changes as Decatur Lutheran has indicated that this will be their only next year, which will take the conference down to 6 teams. And then East Alton Wood River will join the conference in 2014, year after next. And I suspect the reason for the delay is simply that they probably entered into some 2-year contracts as an independent and want to honor those next year. And then we'll be free to join the conference in 2014.
Well, Decatur Lutheran seems to be the one team that's far away from most of the other teams. So if they could have found another conference to get into, it probably would have been better for them.
Yeah, well, for them, it's one thing for a Marquette or a Metro East Lutheran or Bunker Hill to make a trip every other year to Decatur, but Decatur Lutheran, every road game is a lengthy trip. I guess Mount Olive or Kincaid would be the closest teams to them, and they're not very close.
No, they're not. They're still a good ways away.
So they have indicated that they will not return to the conference next year. Now, Nokomis originally was going to be one of the teams moving from the Prairie State to the South Central, but then they had a last-moment change of heart, and that's what opened the door for Roxana to go back into the South Central Conference after being thrown out with Marquette and East Alton Wood River. But now the Oilers will, in 2 years' time, come into the Prairie State Conference. And that'll be good to see, because that's over the years, that's been a pretty good rivalry from time to time between Marquette and East Alton Wood River.
It'll be nice to be able to to play meaningful games against local teams. When you're like in the other sports besides football, and you're playing a scheduled game. If it's not a conference game, a lot of times, there doesn't seem to be the importance to it. Especially when you're playing a local team, you get a little more importance to it when it is a conference game.
So still attending to the injured player. And I'm kind of wondering if at some point the officials aren't going to say, well, there's 1:48 left in the half. Let's go ahead and send the teams to the locker room for the halftime break and then come out, play 1:48, and then go ahead and have the second half kickoff. But now they remove the stretcher, or pick up the backboard, put it on the stretcher, and they'll take the stretcher to the ambulance, and we'll be set to resume. Maybe they'll shorten the halftime break since everybody's had a good rest here. I didn't. It's been about a 15-minute delay.
Yes, it has. They did that last week at the Marquette game where they had the rain delay. I think they did it probably because they didn't want more rain to hit the field and try to speed the game up because there was so many storms in the area.
Well, and neither team went to the locker room. No. They were out there in the pouring rain.
Well, Marquette was.
Marquette was.
Quincy Notre Dame went under the pavilion and was dry.
And now a round of applause for the injured player. I never did see who it was.
I never saw a number on it.
And so the officials now will call both teams back out onto the field for the extra point attempt following the 28-yard touchdown pass from Jack Miller to Keyshawn Young to make it 34-0. 1:48 remaining in the second quarter. Well, now they're going to let them warm up. They're going to give them a warm-up period. So we're going to warm up. We're going to play 1:48. We're going to take a halftime break and warm up again.
Yeah.
Everybody will be worn out from warming up.
This will be a Monday night football game.
It will be, yeah. Well, in the NFL, they're playing a doubleheader tonight. They may get 2 NFL games in before we get this one in. So why don't we take a break while they warm up and we can cool off? How's that sound? We're down to 1:48 remaining here in the first half. Marquette leading at 34-0. The extra point attempt upcoming. You're listening to 1570 Radio Sports.
Why should you bring your vehicle to Quick Lane at Roberts Motors? You never need an appointment, just drive on in. Quick Lane has the guaranteed lowest tire prices around. Plus, we perform a multi-point inspection of the critical items on your vehicle at no charge every time you visit. Ford, Chevy, Toyota, or any other make, Quick Lane can service it. We're even open on Saturdays. Stop by Quick Lane at Roberts Motors today. Come see why life is better in the Quick Lane.
Set, hit. Protection! Can anyone over there give me protection? Danny, hold it. Put me in, coach. I can offer protection. Set, hit. Not only can I protect the quarterback, I can protect your dreams. Call me, Gerard Fisher, 466-7062.
American Family Insurance.
Sam Stem along with Joe Barrett back in Mount Olive, where late in the first half, Marquette leads the Wildcats 34-0. We had about a 15-minute injury timeout as a Mount Olive player was injured on that touchdown play by Marquette. And they called the ambulance and rescue squad in and attended to him, got him on the backboard, got him in the ambulance. Now they've given both teams a warm-up period. Players out there stretching. Joe's up here stretching, so he doesn't pull anything here in the final minute 48. We've got to walk over.
If we can make it down the steps.
Before the night's over. Well, the elevator's out of order, so we can't take the elevator. But we've got a minute 48 to go till halftime, and if we're lucky, maybe they'll shorten the halftime. I don't think their band is here tonight.
No.
Talked to the principal when I got here, and he said, well, this has all been kind of thrown together, and he said the band isn't here, and we're doing our best to accommodate everybody. And now Nick Hofert will attempt to add point number 35 on the evening for the Explorers. Out of the hold of Brandon Kaiser. Now the Wildcats having trouble getting the right guys onto the field. They line it up. There's the snap, the spot, and the kick. It's up high, long, and it is good. 1:48 remaining in the first half. Marquette now leads 35-0 over the Mount Olive Wildcats. Back with another Explorer kickoff in a moment. You're listening to 1570 Radio Sports.
In today's economy, everyone's looking for an encouraging sign. That's exactly what you'll find right here at my State Farm office in Bethalto. I'm Tom Lane, and for 86 years, State Farm agents like me have been helping you protect the things that matter most. That's why more people trust State Farm, and why we consider that a very good sign.
Call Tom Lane State Farm office in Bethalto at 377-8912 or go to tomlaneagency.net.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
At First Mid-America Credit Union, they offer more than savings accounts, checking accounts, money markets, loans, and IRAs. They also offer a Visa Platinum Card, which rewards their members with low rates, no annual fees, no hidden fees, no balance transfer fees, built-in safety features to protect your card from fraud, and a reward program which rewards you for every purchase you make. Apply today for a First Mid-America Credit Union Visa Platinum Card at www.1stmidamerica.org.
Nick Hofert will tee the football at his own 40-yard line and put it in play from there. The lights now starting to take effect here. I don't have a whole lot of lights, but they seem to be doing the job. 4 lights on each of 4 poles on each side of the field. That's 32 lights altogether. And here is the return by Brandon Ellington. Right up the middle he goes. He takes a hard hit. The first man to hit him for the Explorers was Jesse Simmons, and he stopped him almost dead in his tracks. And then a host of Explorers were there to finish him off at his own 24-yard line.
Yeah, Edlington had a whole head of steam coming up, and he lowered his shoulder, and Jesse Simmons wasn't afraid to meet him and lowered his shoulder, and they came together, and they both kind of fell backwards, and Keyshawn Young came in to finish off the play.
So now Brendan O'Neill, who had worn number 80, now wearing number 4, as his number 80 jersey was torn. They made him change it. So O'Neill from the pistol takes the snap. Reverse. They run a reverse, and they find some running room as the running back cuts it right up the middle and has first down yardage out across the 35 to the 36-yard line. A gain of 12 on that carry for Zach Mathis.
It was a well-defined play. The Explorers didn't expect that they were all covering the initial handoff coming around the right end. Mathis took the second handoff, went to the left side, and had a big hole, cut it upfield, and got good yardage.
And now they roll it with 1:33 and counting remaining here in the first half. Only the third first down of the night for Mount Olive. Receivers left and right. In the pistol formation, it's O'Neill, and he drops, rolls to his right, and hits his intended receiver at the 39, but he couldn't hang on. That throw was just a little bit low, and that stops the clock with 1:17 remaining in the half.
Zach Trebbing was the intended receiver, and it was a little low and a little behind him, and he couldn't hold on to it. Would have been a short gain because he would have been on the ground when he caught it about the 40-yard line. They would only picked up about 4 or 5 yards.
Brendan O'Neill has completed 2 of 6 attempts for 24 yards. He's been intercepted once. Second down and 10, Wildcats from their own 37. And here is the give right up the middle. The running back crosses the 40 and takes it out to the 42-yard line.
That was Trebbing on the carry. Explorers were able to stop him after a short gain of about 5 yards. Brings up about 3rd and 5.
Zach Trebbing. That was his first carry of the night.
Bring up a 3rd down and long 4.
And he gained 6. The clock rolling now with 45 seconds remaining. On 3rd and 4, a high snap, and O'Neill takes it himself, runs out to the right side. I think the Explorers got his face mask on in a tackle attempt. That's going to give the well, he had the first down anyway here on the near sideline as he was bounced out of bounds at the 47. And then they'll tack on the face mask penalty against the Explorers. The first man that had a shot at him inadvertently got his face mask, and that was the cause of the flag. He got the first down yardage, and then they'll tack on the penalty yardage, an additional 5.
The defender came in, had his hand out, and O'Neill kind of ducked his head right into his arm, and his hand brushed across the face mask, brought his head down farther, and that's when the official threw the flag. Only a 5-yard penalty. It was an inadvertent, but it's an automatic call when they see it. So
down to 23 seconds and counting remaining in the first half. O'Neill takes the snap from the pistol, drops to throw, lets it go deep down the middle, and overthrows everybody.
Throwing incomplete.
All the way down at about the 20 of the Explorers. The intended receiver was Zach Mathis. He was covered by Michael Ford.
Explorers had good coverage on that play, Sam. They were looking to go deep. They had 2 guys running deep patterns, and the Explorers had deep coverage. There really wasn't anywhere for O'Neill to throw the ball.
The clock is stopped with 14 seconds remaining in the half. Marquette with a 35-0 lead. 2nd and 10 Wildcats at the Marquette 49-yard line. Again, receivers left and right. They put a man in motion to the right side. From the pistol formation, O'Neill drops to throw. He's got time. Now he can't find anybody open. Lets it go downfield, and it falls harmlessly incomplete down at the 30-yard line of the Explorers with 7 seconds remaining.
He had 2 receivers over there, and he underthrew one and overthrew the other and landed right in between both of them. As he was being chased, he just kind of tried to get rid of it as quick as he could once he decided he was not going to be able to go forward with his cross the line of scrimmage. Just wanted to get rid of it.
3rd and 10 Wildcats at the Marquette 49-yard line. A pair of receivers to each side of the field. O'Neal in the pistol with a running back behind him. Takes the snap, drops to throw. Sets, lets it go deep down the right sideline, and it is incomplete through the hands of the intended receiver who went high to try to bring it down. Brandon Kaiser was on the coverage, but he got a little turned around, and it gave the Wildcats a chance to complete a big play, but they could not. And the clock stops with 0.7 of a second remaining.
Yeah, that was a play that Kaiser had good position until late in the ball flight. As the ball was coming down, he kind of, like you said, got turned around and lost his balance and couldn't knock the ball down. Fortunately, it wasn't caught.
And now on the 4th down play, as the time expires, they let it go deep down the right sideline, and Brandon Kaiser had it right in his hands and couldn't hang on. And that is the end of the first half of action from Mount Olive, Illinois, up here in Macoupin County on a beautiful night for football. At the half, the score, Marquette 35, Mount Olive nothing. You're listening to Z1570 Radio Sports.
RiverBender.com's live coverage of today's game is brought to you by Tom Lane, State Farm, your good neighbor agent in the Riverbend. Roberts Ford, the value store since 1949. Barry Macias, professional, independent insurance agents. First Mid-America Credit Union, exceeding member expectations since 1934. Gerard Fisher, American Family Insurance. All of your protection under one roof.
All right, set for the second half kickoff. 12 minutes on the clock. Marquette with a 35-0 lead. And Nick Hofert will kick it off for the 6th time tonight. And the Wildcats send their deep men, Ellington, on the near side. And on the far side, it's Matt Tomso. And they wait for the indication from the official. They get it. The run up and the kick, and Hofert puts it deep. And Tomso will start from his own 6, out across the 10 to the 15. Fumbles the football, picks it up, and is brought down just as he crosses the 21-yard line. He just dropped that ball.
No, I think the Explorers I think it was Drysdale came running by and stuck his arm out. Number 65, David Drysdale, hit his arm and popped the ball out, and it stunned Tomso because he didn't even expect it. But he was quick to react, picked it up, and picked up a few more yards, got across the 20.
1st and 10 Wildcats from their own 21-yard line. Brendan O'Neal started the game wearing 80. Now he's wearing number 4 after they ripped his first jersey off of him. The pass over the middle, incomplete behind the intended receiver. Over on the far side, coverage by Brandon Kaiser of the Explorers.
One couple of pass plays that the Wildcats ran, their defensive backs have had a lot better coverage on the receivers. They send 4 or 5 receivers out on almost every play, and the Explorers are in kind of a man coverage, and they've been able to stick with the receivers on a regular basis. There hasn't been much for O'Neal to throw to.
2nd down and 10. Wildcats, now they're having trouble getting the right personnel onto the field, and they're going to get a delay of game penalty. Either that or have to take a timeout. Oh, no, they just reset the clock. I'm not sure why.
I think he had a equipment problem. The referee allowed him to come off.
That works. Receivers left and right. A pair of receivers to each side of the field from the shotgun. O'Neal, long count, takes the snap, rolls to his right. Now he's going to run with it. Across the 15 and hit as he tries to cross the 20. And then flags are thrown at the end of the play. And I think somebody took a shot at one of the Explorers. And it's a personal foul against the Wildcats. So O'Neal got back to the line of scrimmage at the 21, and then about 5 or 6 yards down the field, I guess it was a late hit. And so they'll walk it off half the distance to the goal line. Personal foul, a late hit, the referee says. It's kind of quiet here. We can hear what he says. He wasn't talking that loud.
No, he wasn't.
foul against the
So they'll walk it off half the distance to the goal line and put the football down just outside the 10-yard line. So it's going to be, well, they lost the down too because it was after the play. So it's going to be 3rd and 20 for the Wildcats from their own 11-yard line. And here is O'Neal back to throw. Now he's going to run with it. He's got first down yardage and then some down the left sideline. And he just took off. He rolled to his left, looked downfield, and decided just to take off with it and took it all the way out to the 42-yard line, a gain of 31 on that carry.
That was a good run. He got to the corner, Sam, and the Explorers just didn't react to that play very well at all. Gave him the corner. He turned down the sidelines and ran over one player before he was finally knocked out by Michael Ford. But it wasn't until he picked up the first down at the 42-yard line before they were able to do that.
Only the 5th first down of the night for the Wildcats, but a big one there that gets them out of a big hole. And the Wildcats send receivers to both sides of the field. From the pistol formation now, the give to the second man through. He's hit after a gain of about a yard. That time on the carry it was Ellington, Brandon Ellington, and he gains, well, nothing on that play. 2nd and 10.
The Explorers had good penetration from their defensive linemen, and then the linebackers came up to the line of scrimmage and were able to stop him right there.
The clock rolling with 10:57 remaining in the third quarter. Marquette with a 35-0 lead. Mount Olive took the second half kickoff. They've picked up a first down. And on the second down play, the give to Ellington, and he's hit in the backfield. Andrew Knowles and Alex Hamburg met the running back right after he took the handoff and threw him for a 4-yard loss.
Yeah, that play was blown up by the good penetration of the two Explorers as they got into the backfield right after he got the handoff. He got nailed, and they brought him down immediately.
Well, 5-yard loss. 3rd and 15 Wildcats from their own 37-yard line. They converted on 3rd and 20 a moment ago. O'Neal takes the snap and drops to throw. Now he steps up and he's going to take off with it again, and this time he's hitting the backfield. A nice tackle there by A.J. Lipkin. He throws O'Neal for a loss of 2 yards when it looked like O'Neal might have a lane perhaps for a big run again.
The Explorers had good penetration from Hamburg on the left side and the defensive tackle Schroeder and Knowles, but A.J. Lipka was still hung up at the line of scrimmage and was able to make a nice tackle.
Now another punt attempt by the Wildcats. The punter standing inside his own 25 gets a good snap and gets the kick away. And Keyshawn Young, that's a great kick. Keyshawn Young had to go back. He couldn't get back there quickly enough, and it rolls dead at the Marquette 18-yard line. And the Explorers will start with their worst field position of the night.
Yeah, I think Keyshawn Young was fooled by that punt because he really got all of it towards the right sideline, but it landed about 15 yards inside from the sideline and about 10 yards over Keyshawn's head.
It's about a 52-yard punt by Dakota White. And so now the Explorers break the huddle. They send Jesse Simmons wide to the right side. Wide left is Alex Cowens. Ford in the left slot goes in motion to the right side, and that football is fumbled. Ford now picks it up and is hit in the backfield as he tries to find some running room to the left side. Miller tried to hand it to the fullback, Kaiser, and I don't know if they were hit during the exchange or if they just had a bad exchange. The ball hit the ground. Ford pounced on it and tried to break it out to the left side, but could not, was brought down at his own, just shy of his own 15-yard line, a loss of 4 on that play.
Well, it looked like the Wildcats had good penetration that broke up the handoff anyway. If it wasn't clean handoff, the Explorers weren't getting much on that play.
2nd and 14. Now the Explorers spread it out, put Miller in the pistol formation, and here's the give to Ford on a counter. Ford finds some running room to the outside and then is finally hemmed in after he crosses the 20. Out to about the 24-yard line. A gain of 9, almost 10 on that carry from Michael Ford, and brings about 3rd and 5 for the Explorers.
It was a good deception that time by Miller as he faked a couple of handoffs and finally gave the ball to Ford, who had good running room initially, picked up good yardage for the Explorers.
Michael Ford, 11 carries for 88 yards. He had 181 last week in the mud, 260 in the opening week against Priory, and now the Explorers take a timeout as the play clock was about to run down. 7:50 remaining in the third quarter. It's Marquette 35, Mount Olive nothing. You're listening to 1570 Radio Sports.
These days, it's hard to watch TV and not see a commercial where some car dealers make all kinds of empty promises they just can't keep. At Roberts, we don't make empty promises. What we will promise is a great selection of vehicles, all at great prices, along with the exceptional service you deserve before, during, and after the sale. Stop by today and see for yourself. Roberts Motors in Alton on Route 3 or online at RiverBender.com.
Set, hit. Protection! Can anyone over there give me protection? Danny, hold. Put me in, coach. I can offer protection. Set, hit. Not only can I protect the quarterback, I can protect your dreams. Call me, Gerard Fisher, 466-7062.
American Family Insurance.
3rd and 5 from their own 24-yard line. This their first possession of the second half after forcing a Mount Olive punt. On the third down play, here is the give to Kaiser on a counter to the left side, and Kaiser first down yardage out across the 30 to the 32-yard line, a gain of 8 by Brandon Kaiser. That play has worked well all night. They fake an outside handoff to Michael Ford that draws all the defensive coverage towards one side, and then they kind of counter it back the other way to Kaiser.
And he hits the line running hard, Sam, and there's nobody there. He gets 7-8 yards before contact.
The 10th first down of the night for the Explorers from the pistol formation. Here's a give on a counter to Michael Ford, looking for some running room right up the middle. He's thrown back, never does go down, but they blow the whistle, saying his forward progress was stopped up just shy of the 35-yard line. A gain, well, they're going to put it at the 34, and that's a gain of 2.
Yeah, he was stopped, and the whistle blew, and when the whistle blew, the Wildcats let up, and Michael Ford kept turning his legs and spun away from him and took off running. But, when you get stopped like that, you don't want guys to keep piling in and hitting players.
2nd down and 8, Explorers from their own 34. Receivers left and right from the pistol formation. Jack Miller puts Ford in motion to the right side, and somebody moved prior to the snap. The illegal procedure against Marquette, their 6th penalty of the night. This is kind of what you were talking about would happen last year.
Yep.
Marquette would get a big lead and then just kind of lose a little bit of that edge.
Yeah, they've a lot of times tonight it's been their offensive line that has jump started before the snap. Sometimes last year you get 2 backs in motion at the same time.
2nd and 14, Marquette from their own 29. Miller back to throw. Launches it deep down the right sideline. He has Keyshawn Young at the 40. Puts on a move at the 35, and he is gone. 10-5, touchdown. What a move by Keyshawn Young. A 71-yard touchdown pass from Miller to Young, who scores for the 3rd time tonight.
And that's a similar play they ran earlier in the game, Sam, when Miller put the ball out to Keyshawn Young, and he was unable to catch it. This time he caught it and made 2 nice moves to get it himself into the open field and score a touchdown.
His 3rd touchdown of the night. 2 receiving, 1 rushing. He is exciting, isn't he?
He is.
He looks like he can fly.
It looks like he's limping a little bit after that. I don't know if he may have turned an ankle or tweaked a muscle, but he's not walking too well.
Nick Hofer to add the 42nd point, and the kick is up high, long, and good. 6:16 remaining third quarter. The score now, Marquette 42, Mount Olive nothing. You're listening to Z1570 Radio Sports.
At First Mid-America Credit Union, they offer more than savings accounts, checking accounts, money markets, loans, and IRAs. They also offer a Visa Platinum Card, which rewards their members with low rates, no annual fees, no hidden fees, no balance transfer fees, built-in safety features to protect your card from fraud, and a reward program which rewards you for every purchase you make. Apply today for a First Mid-America Credit Union Visa Platinum Card at www.1stmidamerica.org.
In today's economy, everyone's looking for an encouraging sign. That's exactly what you'll find right here at my State Farm office in Bethalto. I'm Tom Lane, and for 86 years, State Farm agents like me have been helping you protect the things that matter most. That's why more people trust State Farm, and why we consider that a very good sign.
Call Tom Lane State Farm office in Bethalto at 377-8912 or go to tomlaneagency.net.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
And now with Marquette with a greater than 40-point lead in the second half, it will be a running clock. And the rest of this game will move along pretty quickly.
That's got the signal yet. Another thing about Holford on those kickoffs, Sam, he gets them so high that the Explorers are able to get past the first wave of blockers fairly quickly and able to get down and cover the punts and the kickoffs very well, limiting the Wildcats' return to inside their 15-yard line for the second time tonight.
A pair of receivers to each side of the field. Brendan O'Neill takes the snap and hands it off, and here's Ellington trying to sweep the right side. He's hemmed in and gets back to the line of scrimmage. May have gained a yard at the most.
Good coverage by the Explorers. They had that play strung out. Nick Holford got in there, made a nice hit, along with Alex Hamburg and Keyshawn Young. There really wasn't a lot of room for him to run. He picked up a yard, but he wasn't going to get much more than that.
Brandon Ellington, 6 carries, -1. He's had a hard time getting untracked. You're in tune to WBGZ Alton. It's 8 o'clock. And back to throw once again is O'Neill. Over the middle, he's got his man at the 25 out to the 30, to the 35-yard line. Making the reception for the Wildcats is number 24. Let's see if I can find him on the roster. Quentin Tooley. His first reception of the night. And good for 19 yards.
Well, they set up two wide receivers to the right side. The inside receiver went to the outside, and the outside receiver cut across the middle. And when he cut across the middle, he was wide open, and O'Neill hit him before the Explorers' Keyshawn Young could catch up to him.
The 6th first down of the night for the Wildcats. 1st and 10 from their own 35, and the snap is a bad one. And the Wildcats are lucky to cover it, and it was O'Neill himself that covered it. He was in the shotgun, and I think maybe the center forgot he was in the shotgun and just gave him a short snap.
Yeah, and O'Neill was quick to react to it. He saw the ball roll back, and he just ran up forward and jumped on it before the Explorers could get to it.
Either that or the center hit his knee or something, drawing the football back, but it only fell about 2 yards behind the center. Now here's O'Neill running to the right side, and Keyshawn Young hits him and brings him down, but not until O'Neill powers his way out to the 40-yard line, a gain of 5.
He's a good runner, Sam. When he turns that corner and heads upfield, he's a load. The Explorers have to get more players than just one to bring him down sometimes.
3rd and 5, Wildcats. A pair of receivers to each side of the field. O'Neill in the pistol with a running back behind him. O'Neill gives it on a draw right up the middle. That's Bardock. Breaks the first tackle. Breaks another. Has first down yardage. And crosses midfield and takes it all the way down to the Marquette 48-yard line. A gain of 12. He simply would not go down.
No, that was a determined run. He picked up an extra 7 yards after his first contact with the Explorers. And really, they had 2 players there to make the play initially. Right at the first down marker, they weren't able to, and he just kept his legs churning and got across the 50 down to the 48.
Now 7 first downs on the night for the Wildcats. Again, a pair of receivers to each side of the field. From the shotgun, O'Neill turns, hands it off, and that's Bartok again, and this time he's stacked up after a short gain. Maybe a 2-yard gain on that carry. as the interior of that Explorer defense converged on him with Nick Holford getting the first contact, I believe.
Yeah, Mason Schroeder made a nice play in there, plugging up the line of scrimmage. That was another hard run, though. He didn't have a lot of room to gain any yardage, and he's still able to pick up 2 yards.
Down to 2:15 and counting remaining in the third quarter. Marquette with a 42-0 lead. The Wildcats put a man in motion to the right side, and O'Neal drops to throw. Looking out to his left side, he's got his man. It's a first down inside the Marquette 35, down to the 33-yard line, a gain of 13 on that completion. And making the reception was Zach Trebbing.
As the Wildcats spread it out a little more, and he's able to sit back. O'Neal is able to sit back in the pocket and look downfield. He's finding more open receivers as the Explorers are breaking down in coverage a little bit.
1:30 remaining in the third quarter. 1st and 10 Wildcats at the Marquette 32-yard line. Back to throw O'Neal. He's got some time, lets it go out to the right side, incomplete. He threw behind his intended receiver, who had just run a little hook down the right side.
A.J. Lipka was able to get through and make him throw that. He made him move a little bit before he released the ball, and that might have thrown the pass off because his receiver was open. He had space to get it in there. He just misfired on it a little bit.
O'Neal 4 of 14 for 56 yards and an interception. Now trips to the right, another receiver wide left. O'Neal into pistol formation, puts a man in motion to the left side, and back to throw. O'Neal lets it go over the middle, and it was very nearly picked off by Michael Ford. Instead, it's incomplete. It's going to be 3rd and 10.
Ford's back in the safety position, and he was just playing center field on that, watching O'Neal's eyes. And when he delivered the ball across the middle, Ford broke on it, cut in front of the receiver, but he wasn't able to hold on to the ball.
Ford with an interception in the first quarter, and he returned it for a touchdown, an 18-yard interception return. He very nearly had another pick right there. Receivers left and right. O'Neal in the pistol formation. Takes the snap, turns, hands it to his running back, and that's Ellington. And he's stacked up after a gain of a yard, and that's the end of the third quarter. The score after 3 quarters, Marquette 42, Mount Olive nothing. You're listening to Z1570 Radio Sports.
I'll grab the birthday cake. You bring the gift, if you're sure she's ready.
She's 16, honey, and she's earned a set of keys.
She's studied and practiced, I know, but it's a big responsibility.
When you have a teen driver, it's good to know that Madison Mutual has the insurance coverage you need.
She's ready, and so are we. I talked to our Madison Mutual agent.
Call Barry Macias, your local independent insurance agent, at 467-2874.
The more life changes, the more you need Madison Mutual.
Red or black, silver or gold, new or used. At First Mid-America Credit Union, they know options are important to you. That's why they've made relationships with local dealerships where you'll receive all the extras with First Mid-America Credit Union's low rates and financing done on the spot. All you have to do is decide what you want. Your car, our loans, they're made for each other. www.1stmidamerica.org or call 618-258-3168 to speak to a representative.
We move to the fourth quarter here in Mount Olive, 42-0. Marquette leading it. They led 28-0 at the end of the first quarter, 35-0 at halftime, 42-0 here as we get ready to start play in the fourth quarter. My name is Sam Stem. Alongside is Joe Barrett. Just a perfect evening for football. We started this game in bright sunshine. Now we play under the lights. 4th and 10 Wildcats, and there is a completion down the right sideline for a first down inside the Marquette 20, down to the 15-yard line. Making the reception, Zach Mathis, good for 15 yards on the play, and the 9th first down of the night for the Wildcats.
On that play, Sam, the Explorers had defenders over in the area, but they all broke up to the short man and let Mathis cut in behind him. And he was wide open. A nice pass by O'Neal.
Mathis's second reception of the night for a total of 40 yards. And part of the difference on this possession for the Wildcats is that O'Neill has had time back there to set and find his receivers downfield on the first down play. 1st and 10 at the Marquette 15. Back to throw. O'Neill looking into the left corner of the end zone and going high to try to bring it down at the goal line. The intended receiver, number 12, Jake Niehaus, and he very nearly brought it down the ladder.
Looked like Keyshawn Young had him defended really well, but he didn't react to the ball at the end as well as Niehaus did. Niehaus had a chance to pull it in and get a touchdown, but he was unable to keep it in his finger grip.
2nd down and 10, Wildcats. The clock continuing to roll because Marquette built a 40-plus point lead in the second half. So even if the Wildcats score here, that clock will continue to run. On the first down play, it was a pitch play to the right side, and Ellington was the man that he was pitching to. Well, he didn't know it was coming his way. He took off downfield. Either that or the other back was not where he was supposed to be, but at any rate, it rolls out of bounds on the far sideline for a loss of 5.
Definitely a miscommunication by the Wildcats on that play. I'm not sure whose mistake it was, but it was a dangerous pass.
It was a bad one.
It was a dangerous play by O'Neill to let go of it without the player looking at him.
He was lucky that ball rolled out of bounds. Otherwise, a Marquette defender could have picked it up and run down that sideline. 3rd and 15 at the Marquette 20. O'Neill now under some pressure. Finds a man at the 5-yard line, and it goes right through the hands of the intended receiver, and that was Tooley, number 24.
Yeah, he was open on the sidelines. He made a nice attempt at it. The ball went right through his hands. I think if he had another chance, he'd have liked to have that one back because he should have caught that ball.
Now 4th and 15 for the Wildcats at the Marquette 20-yard line, and of course they'll go for it here. They send receivers to both sides of the field. 2 backs behind O'Neill, who sets the team, puts a man in motion to the left side, takes the snap and rolls to his left. He's under some pressure, steps up, delivers it into the end zone, and very nearly a circus catch by Niehaus at the back of the end zone. But now we've got a flag down, and that's a hold against the Wildcats. Marquette will decline that and take the ball on downs at their own 20-yard line, but Niehaus went high back at the end line and very nearly caught it.
The Explorers had good position, but they're not reacting to where the ball's being thrown. They're more reacting to the players in their vicinity. And when they don't adjust to the ball once it's in the air, and that allowed Niehaus the opportunity to go after it, but he just missed it.
So the clock rolling with 8:13 remaining in the fourth quarter. Marquette with a 42-0 lead. And they take over on downs at their own 20-yard line. That one of the better sustained drives by the Wildcats, but following the bad pitch on a 3rd down play, they couldn't convert on the 4th down play. And now Marquette with some new players in there, and there is a handoff, and that's Brandon Kaiser, and he goes nowhere. A quarterback for Marquette, Trey Aguirre, 5'6", 130. He's a freshman.
And he looks every bit of it, too.
He looks every bit of 5'6", 130, doesn't he? And they're probably exaggerating.
They may be.
Kaiser lost a yard. I don't think Aguirre is the only backup in there. I think they've got some... we'll have to check the linemen as well and see who else might be in there. Ford's still in there. So they go with the power I formation, and here's a give to Kaiser right up the middle. This time he finds some running room, crosses the 25 and takes it out to the 28-yard line. A gain of 9 on that carry. Gain of 8, and it's going to be 3rd and 2.
I think they've got most of their linemen in there still, and that was a nice run by Kaiser. He hit the hole hard and fast and was able to break a tackle at the line and pick up 8 yards on the play.
Well, they don't have that many extra linemen over there on the far sideline either. Marquette dressing, I think, only 34 players. Now 3rd and 2 for the Explorers. Aguirre again gives it right up the middle. That's Kaiser, and Kaiser doing what fullbacks are supposed to do. Just grinding it out, crosses the 30 out to the 34-yard line. A gain of 5 and the 12th Marquette first down of the night.
That was a good push by the offensive line as they just moved the Wildcats back 5 yards, and Kaiser just followed up on it, and good hard run, got a first down for Marquette.
This is Kaiser's biggest night as an Explorer, 12 carries, 74 yards. Ford, 12 carries for 90 yards. Keyshawn Young, 4 carries for 71 yards. And now here is, again, the give to Kaiser, and I think they're going to work him half to death here in the fourth quarter. This time he works the left side and pounds his way out to the 39-yard line. A gain of 5.
Well, Brandon is going out now as another back has come in for the Explorers, and they've got a new backfield to go along with Aguirre.
Trey Aguirre at quarterback, a freshman. And now they set with a single wing to the left side, and here was the give to the new fullback in there, and he had to fight for the football. Jacob Loftus, he too a freshman, 6'1", 170, and a lot of penetration by the Wildcats, and Loftus had to fight for the football.
Yeah, that's when the Explorers line up in that formation, the power formation, and they hand it off to the fullback 3 times tonight. They've got good penetration on that play and almost hit the fullback before he got the football.
A loss of a yard on that carry. It's 3rd and 6 for the Explorers from their own 38. Aguirre with Loftus in as the fullback. The wing to the right side is Alfred Soballeo. And now whistles and flags prior to the snap. Delay of game against the Explorers. That'll be a 5-yard walk-off and turn 3rd and 6 into 3rd and 11.
Well, that's too bad. Just a half a second before they got the ball off, and they weren't able to beat the clock that time.
Down to 4 minutes and counting remaining in the fourth quarter. Marquette leading 42-0. Their first ever game in the Prairie State Conference. Next week, they travel to Kincaid to take on South Fork. Receivers left and right. Aguirre, under center, takes the snap, keeps it himself, follows his fullback into the hole. He was looking for his pitch back, but good coverage there by the Wildcats, and Aguirre, no gain on that carry, and it's going to be 4th and 12 for the Explorers.
Yeah, they looked like it was a little bit of a mix-up on the handoff, and so Aguirre decided to keep it, and there wasn't much there for him. Pitchman wasn't in position to get a good pitch to him, so he just kept it and took the loss.
The good news for Aguirre, he's a freshman, so 5'6", 130, he may grow.
You can always hope.
You know, he might come in next year 6'1", 180. You never know. And now the punt is blocked and covered by the Wildcats. And so the Explorers, Nick Holford, had 2 Wildcats on top of him, and they blocked the punt and cover it at the Marquette 19-yard line.
And Miller didn't have much choice. He had 2 guys coming in. He had to pick one of them to block, and the other one was able to get in and block the punt.
So now
they're in a good position to get a touchdown here.
Now 2:30 and counting remaining in the fourth quarter, and the Wildcats will have a chance to get on the scoreboard starting 1st and 10. We'll call it the Marquette 20-yard line.
Please come out and support our teams.
Now they're going to have to call a timeout because they sent the second team in, and there was a little confusion as to who's going to be in. So
that stops the clock with 2:13 remaining here in the fourth quarter. It's Marquette 42, Mount Olive nothing. You're listening to Z1570 Radio Sports.
Set, hit. Protection. Can anyone over there give me protection? Danny, hold. Put me in, coach. I can offer protection. Set, hit. Not only can I protect the quarterback, I can protect your dreams. Call me, Gerard Fisher, 466-7062.
American Family Insurance.
Why should you bring your vehicle to Quick Lane at Roberts Motors? If you never need an appointment, just drive on in. Quick Lane has the guaranteed lowest tire prices around. Plus, we perform a multi-point inspection of the critical items on your vehicle at no charge every time you visit. Ford, Chevy, Toyota, or any other make, Quick Lane can service it. We're even open on Saturdays. Stop by Quick Lane at Roberts Motors today. Come see why life is better in the Quick Lane.
Their backup quarterback into the game has quite a run. Matt Tomso running to the left side, eluding tacklers, takes it all the way down to the 1 yard line, a gain of 19, and he put some moves on.
Yes, he did. He's a quick little scatterback, and he was able to weave his way through the Explorers all the way down to the 1 yard line. He almost, I thought, was going to make it into the end zone, but the late surge by the Explorers caught him and stopped him before he could get in.
The clock running with a minute and a half remaining in the fourth quarter. First and goal, Wildcats. Tomso from the pistol formation takes a snap, runs to his left, tries to get into the end zone, and they stack him up short. In fact, he might have lost a yard. He didn't gain anything, I know that.
No, he didn't. It was good play by the Explorers defense. They had the line pretty well controlled that time.
Second and goal at the 2 for the Wildcats. Now down to 55 seconds and counting, remaining in the fourth quarter. And they're changing a lot of personnel in and out of the game. Tomso remains at the quarterback position and will operate from the pistol formation. Puts a man in motion to the right side and rushes to the right side. Bounces off one tackler, bounces off another. He's near the goal line. There's a flag on the play. Apparently did not get in, and now we'll check the flag. Illegal motion against the Wildcats. And before they get this all sorted out, I think the time's going to run out, and they're not even going to, they're going to stop the clock.
They'll call timeout.
Timeout for the Wildcats. So they want to take one more shot at it, and I think they picked the flag up.
No, I guess they did.
He picked up the flag and waved it off.
Which he shouldn't have done because he was right. They had an illegal motion because the player was never set. He was running in from the sideline and just went ahead and went in motion. And so he never did set before he went in motion, which should have been a penalty.
So the timeout stops the clock with 20 seconds remaining here in the fourth quarter. And Mount Olive will have another attempt at it here. Now third and goal at the 2. As they huddle around head coach Josh Martin over here on the near sideline. Well, Mount Olive has already matched their win total of last year. They went 1-8 last year. Came into this game 1-1. And I suspect they may win another game or two along the way, if not more.
Yeah, they've got some talent, and they make some plays, Sam. They've got a little scheme on offense that should work for them.
Third and goal, low snap to Tomso. He hands it off, and there to bury the ball carrier is Alex Hamburg, and probably preserve the shutout for the Explorer defense.
And there was a fumble on the play, Sam. The Explorers recovered it.
And so now the final 10 seconds will run off the clock before Marquette will even get the offense out onto the field. And this one is a final from Mount Olive. Marquette 42, the Wildcats nothing. Back to wrap it up in just a moment. You're listening to Z1570 Radio Sports.
Hit. Protection. Can anyone over there give me protection? Danny, hold. Put me in, coach. I can offer protection. Hit. Not only can I protect the quarterback, I can protect your dreams. Call me, Gerard Fisher, 466-7062.
American Family Insurance.
I'll grab the birthday cake, you bring the gift, if you're sure she's ready.
She's 16, honey, and she's earned a set of keys.
She's studied and practiced, I know, but it's a big responsibility.
When you have a teen driver, it's good to know that Madison Mutual has the insurance coverage you need.
She's ready, and so are we. I talked to our Madison Mutual agent.
Call Barry Macias, your local independent insurance agent at 467-2874.
The more life changes, the more you need Madison Mutual.
Then on their next possession on 3rd and long, Michael Ford, a 42-yard touchdown run. Hofert's extra point made it 14-0 with 6:15 remaining in the first quarter. Then on the very next possession by Mount Olive, Michael Ford, an 18-yard interception return. The extra point by Nick Hofert was no good. And with 5:38 remaining in the first quarter, it was 20-0 Marquette. On the Explorers' next possession, Brandon Kaiser, a 4-yard touchdown run. Keyshawn Young ran it in for a 2-point conversion, and with 24 seconds remaining in the first quarter, Marquette led 28-0. The majority of the second quarter was scoreless, but late in the quarter, following a turnover by the Wildcats, a fumble that Marquette recovered, there was a 28-yard touchdown pass from Jack Miller to Keyshawn Young. Nick Hofert added the extra point. It was 35-0 Marquette with 1:48 remaining in the second quarter. That's the way the first half ended. The only score of the second half, a 71-yard touchdown pass from Jack Miller to Keyshawn Young. Nick Hofert added the extra point. 42-0 Marquette with 6:16 remaining in the third quarter. That gave us a running clock, and there was no further scoring. A big night for Keyshawn Young, 2 touchdown passes and a touchdown run of 70 yards. Keyshawn Young, two receptions for 99 yards, 2 touchdowns, and then he rushed 4 times for 71 yards, including that 70-yard touchdown run. So 3 touchdowns on the night for Keyshawn Young. Michael Ford had 2 touchdowns on the night, 1 an interception return, 1 a rushing touchdown. Ford 12 carries for 90 yards, and Brandon Kaiser had the other Marquette touchdown. That was a touchdown run. Kaiser carried 13 times for 79 yards. So Marquette distributed the ball well and got production from everybody.
That's a good thing, too, because they got a short week. They'll be back at it Friday night. They'll only have really 2.5 days of practice before they'll be able to play Friday night at Kincaid South Fork.
Coming up on Friday night, more high school football for you right here on the Big Z. At 7 o'clock, we're live from Civic Memorial High School as CM entertains the Jerseyville Panthers. Game 2 of our Friday night doubleheader, Vandalia at Roxana. The Shells coming off a victory last week as well. For Joe Barrett and for our engineer, Brian Hennigan, Sam Stem, reminding you once again the final score from Mount Olive. The Explorers 42, the Wildcats nothing. So long, everybody.
RiverBender.com's live coverage of today's game is brought to you by Tom Lane, State Farm, your good neighbor agent in the Riverbend. Roberts Ford, the value store since 1949. Barry Macias, professional, independent insurance agents. First Mid-America Credit Union, exceeding member expectations since 1934. Gerard Fisher, American Family Insurance. All of your protection under one roof.